Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to our final week of this class. You didn't think we'd make it, but we did. It's exciting. So, if we take a look at our calendar here real quick, your annotated bibliography is due today. There was instruction for that in the modules tab on Canvas. If you're still struggling with it, get in touch with the CBC librarians. They should be able to help you find any research you're still missing, so you can pull that together real quick before midnight tonight. The cultural analysis project originally was due on Wednesday. I'm going to give you an extra day on that because it's the end of the quarter and a little extra time never hurt anybody. So I'm going to move that to the 20th. So you have until the 20th to turn in your Project 3 cultural analysis. If you have any questions about that, reach out. I'm happy to help. I'm looking forward to seeing how your ideas come together here. And then the exit essay, we talked a little bit about this last week. But I have sent emails out to the students who are required to take the exit essay. You only have to take the exit essay if you did not pass the diagnostic essay. So a passing grade on the diagnostic essay is 60%. So if you got lower than 60%, you need to take the exit essay. If you scored 60% or higher, you are good to go. You do not need to worry about it. The exit essay has stuff available to help you be successful there in our class modules. So if you go into the modules, as always, it's where all the good stuff is. Look at the modules. All the way down at the bottom is the final essay. And so here is the prompt for the final essay and the reading you'll need to do. So I'd highly, highly, highly recommend if you got an email that says you need to do the exit essay, read through this excerpt on civil disobedience a couple times. It was written quite a while ago. It was written by Henry David Thoreau. Excellent piece of writing, and very apropos today. Henry David Thoreau wrote this in 1849. He was talking about slavery and how it shouldn't be legal and how it's bad. And he was talking about the difference between a good person and a good citizen of the government. So a good government citizen will follow all the rules, no matter what. A good person lets their moral compass guide them. And so in the case of this idea that Henry David Thoreau is talking about, the government said it was okay to own slaves. And Henry David Thoreau said, I don't care if the government says it's okay. My moral compass says that's very wrong to own another human being. And so he's talking about that difference here and why it's an important distinction to make. And so as you read through the excerpt on civil disobedience, it was written a long time ago, 1849. But it's amazing how the ideas he's talking about here in this piece are applicable today as we deal with a crazy year. Like, if we're being completely honest, 2020 has been off the rails bonkers, right? For so many reasons. So the ideas he's talking about here actually hold a lot of sway, and he's got some great insights to what we're dealing with today, even though he wrote so long ago. Some of the difficulty of this piece is that some of the language is a little bit archaic. It's a little bit older. The way they spoke in 1849 is a little different than how we speak today. So if you need to take this essay, read through it a couple times, kind of familiarize yourself with the rhythm, with the word choice, the way he's going about talking about his ideas. And then if we go back to our modules, you'll see the prompt asks you, just like our diagnostic essay did, and this is very similar in form. Our diagnostic essay asked you a couple questions, and you got to choose which questions you wanted to answer. Same thing with this exit essay. You will need to pick from the list of questions here, and I've got 4 questions for you to choose from. And so if we go through the prompt together for this in class, and by in class I mean timed writing exercise, we're going to be working on our analysis skills, our critical thinking, our ability to use the text to support our ideas, all things that we have to prove that we've mastered in order to get through English 101. So for this essay, you're going to read that excerpt from Henry David Thoreau's famous work, Walden. This is just a tiny bit of the whole book. So Thoreau discusses civil disobedience in the context of slavery. And even though the piece was written so long ago, like 170 years ago, the ideas he's discussing are very timely, as we talked about. So after you read through Thoreau's arguments, Answer 2 of the following questions in a persuasive essay. And when I say persuasive essay, I mean it needs to be an essay. You're not just answering these in a numbered list. It needs to be an essay. That means it has an introductory paragraph with a clear thesis statement that references the questions you've chosen. You have body paragraphs, 1 body paragraph for each question that's being answered, and then a conclusion that wraps it all together. It also means that you're going to have direct quotes, and those quotes need to be cited. So this is a standard essay form. So if you want to get passing grade on it, you need to write in that standard essay form. You can write about, respond to question number 1, where Thoreau states, if I devote myself to other pursuits and contemplations, I must first see at least that I do not pursue them while sitting upon another man's shoulders. I must get off him first, that he may pursue his contemplations too. So what he's saying there is that we can't use people like a ladder. We can't climb all over them just to get what we want, subjugating, putting other people down to get ourselves ahead. He's saying that's not a good thing to do in terms of morality or ethics. So what extent do you agree with this? What examples can you draw from your own experiences, potentially the current political landscape? We're ensuring that in order to find success, we're not sitting on other people's shoulders. We're making our own way, sort of thing, instead of victimizing others to make ourselves more successful. 2, Thoreau also argues that citizens should do the right thing by challenging the unjust laws that exist. In this excerpt, he's talking about citizens should challenge the fact that people were owning other people. Slavery, he said, was bad. I agree. And he's saying in order to be a good person, you need to say slavery is bad, like stand up against those unjust laws. So what does it mean to be a good citizen? And is it the same thing as being a good person? Talk about how Thoreau juxtaposes those two, how he compares them. How can a majority of one create change? He uses this phrase a couple times in his piece of writing, majority of one. How can one person inspire change, make a difference, when sometimes as just a single person, maybe you feel powerless, right? So how can a majority of one create change? Or, another question you can answer, how does Thoreau's use of rhetorical questions contribute to the persuasiveness of his message? So he asks a lot of questions in this piece, and he doesn't necessarily answer all of them. Why would he do that? It's a rhetorical device. In this case, rhetoric is meaning it's a persuasive device, right? He's asking questions in order to try and make his audience think critically, examine their own hearts, examine their own minds and their choices. So that's a rhetorical device. He's intentionally asking questions and not answering them in order to get his reader to think and perhaps act differently. So do you think that it contributes to the persuasiveness of his message? Is it distracting? Is it confusing? You can go ahead and discuss how effectively he used rhetorical questions in the piece. So just choose 2 out of the 4, gives you lots to talk about, and it does need to be in that standard essay format. You're going to be submitting that through the assignments. It is timed, so it is a quiz kind of situation. So timed exit essay. That means you're going to want to prepare in advance. So if you have that lower score and you need to pass this, you have 120 minutes. That's 2 hours to write this essay. What I would do if I was being asked to do this is that I would read through Walden. I would choose my 2 questions I want to answer. I would make an outline, and I'd probably rough draft my thesis statement. After I've got all that ready, I'm prepared mentally, then I will go in and write the essay, submit it in that 120 minutes. And you should be good to go. That should be plenty of time if you've done a little bit of prep work. If you're going in completely blind, you haven't read anything, you haven't even read the prompt, 120 minutes is going to feel real fast. So do a little prep work, set yourself up for success, and you should be fine. You do have 2 attempts on this. If for some reason something goes wrong the first time, don't sweat it. Just try again. You'll be set. If you have any questions, reach out. I'm here to help. Other than that, I'm so excited for you all. We're making it to the end of the class. You've worked so hard in a really difficult time. This has not been an easy quarter for pretty much all of you have reached out at one point or another, sharing about some of the challenges you faced. And I am so incredibly proud and grateful of the hard work you've done to find success in this class. Really a stellar amount of effort and investment that you've showcased here. So excellently done. Well done, folks. Final grades are due to the administration at the end of next weekend. Let me check the date there. Okay, I have to submit final grades on the 23rd. So if you have any questions about your grades, please ask before the 23rd, because after the 23rd, there's nothing I can do about it. So I will be grading this week and hopefully have everything updated for you toward the beginning of the weekend, because if we take a look at our calendar here, you're turning in your final drafts on Thursday. I'm hoping to have those done by Saturday, so you've got some time if you have questions before we submit those final drafts by the end of the day, or final grades by the end of the day on the 23rd. So should have everything done by Saturday. If you have questions, reach out, and have a great last couple days of the class, guys. It's been a pleasure and a privilege to work with each of you.